Hey, She Slayers, and welcome to another episode of She Slays the Day podcast. I am your host, Dr. Lauryn Brunslick. And today's episode is we have Molly Cahill on, but the reality is this is me on Molly Cahill's podcast. So she's in charge. And we both have ADHD. So you're in for a ride. We're actually breaking this episode into two parts, not because it's the longest episode I've ever had. I actually don't know what the longest episode is. It is definitely on the longer end. But the reason I broke it into parts is because each part got really, really good. And I know that if I keep it in its full length, a lot of you will peter out and not get to the end because it's over the hour mark. And this is really important stuff. So we talk about niche quite a bit. You're going to hear Molly and I basically not debating, but there's a lot of terms that are being used in the online space. And I think that, to give you the background, Molly is a marketer for chiropractors and other holistic clinics. And so she tells them to start a personal brand to help build their clinic, which I don't disagree with. But when I'm using the people I'm working with, my goal for them on building a personal brand is completely different. So you're going to hear, I highly recommend listening to that so you understand. Because if you have a Dr. Alyssa Smith account, and then you also have Smith Chiropractic, you just hearing two different perspectives is a really good thing. There's also in this conversation with Molly, I was not prepared for how vulnerable I would get. And that tells you a lot because I say a lot of vulnerable shit about a different kind of burnout that I didn't realize I have kind of experienced with chiropractic in year 14. So I'm not talking about the kind of burnout that happens. A lot of people talk about, year 2 through 7 or whatever, where you're physically exhausted, you're a little bored. This is a different burnout and no preconceived plans. I have never talked about this before, ever. And so I don't know where the editor is going to cut it. I know it's towards the end of this. So you'll see, you might get half of it and then you have to wait until next week for part 2. But I promise you, some of you are going to be upset with what I say. I can think of you by name. And you're going to DM me. I completely disagree, but there's going to be a lot of you who hear it and are like, shit, that is so true. So you're in for a treat. Okay. But here at the She Slays the Day podcast, we do not gatekeep, right? I am not going to gatekeep about what is keeping me from burning out, what is keeping me happy, healthy, not bored with 1 degree. And those are the kind of conversations we have here, right? Keeping you from becoming bored, broke, or burnt out. So today we cover bored. I don't think we don't really talk finances too much, but we definitely, oh yeah, no, we do. We cover all 3 today. That's why it's necessary to be 2 parts. Okay. So who are we talking? Let me give you a little background on Molly. Per usual, ChatGPT now is just making my bios if I don't have them. So I'm pretty sure this is true, but we know Alex likes to make things up. Alex is my chat for, did you guys know that that's what people call? So I need Alex because I don't like saying chat GPT. The kids just say chat. Well, I asked chat and I'm like, well, that's not as fun as Alex. So anyways, according to chat, Molly Cahill is an Instagram marketing strategist and coach dedicated to helping health and wellness professionals enhance their online presence and attract more clients, patients, in person though. As the host of the Holistic Marketing Simplified podcast, she offers actionable marketing advice tailored to holistic practitioners. With a background in medical sales and a degree in public relations, Molly combines industry experience with marketing expertise to support her clients. She also offers the Holistic Marketing Hub, a program that provides personalized coaching and resources for effective marketing strategies. Her marketing hub is amazing. You'll hear us kind of chatting about San Diego in the beginning. And I have had so many practitioners buy the marketing hub. And I was even talking to her about like, oh, you should make sure you include that. She's like, it is included. And I was like, wow, that's really a good deal. So there's my additional plug of that. Last thing before we pray, you're going to kind of jump in. And one of the, like, I don't know whether, again, I don't know where my editor is going to edit stuff. But one of the first questions out of Molly's mouth, out of her mouth. Yeah. I was going to say out of her face, but that doesn't make sense. Out of her mouth is like, tell me about your new program, Beyond Brick and Mortar. I talk about it for about 2 minutes and it flows really well into a conversation around associate pay and like setting up a problem. So normally, you know me, I'd be like, yeah, just fast forward past that shit. You already know about Beyond Brick and Mortar, but it's very short. And she started her podcast off with asking me about it. So I'm like, all right, well, I'll talk about it. But then it flows into problems that we need to start addressing in our profession and across multiple professions. So I hope you get something out of this. It's going to be great. Let's take a breath. Center ourselves before we listen to two very educated women with ADHD talk about marketing and the problems that we are solving in chiropractic and marketing. Got at one point in this conversation, Molly asks if I think that people are more aware of nervous system regulation now and whether that will be good for the chiropractic profession. And God, I realize that I have a little bit of a skeptical take on it. I do believe that people are waking up to the innate power of the body. And I love that so, so much. So God, just continue to anybody who relates with my exhaustion in this episode, to just continue to get that inspiration from you, be refueled by your word and your message, and be inspired by the incredible human body that you've built and our role in it. In your name we pray. Amen. Okay, here is part 1 with my conversation with Molly Cahill. Enjoy.
Okay, we really did want to talk about your new membership. Tell us about your new membership and then tell us. Okay, I have questions, but first tell us about your new membership.
Oh, okay. So it's Beyond Brick and Mortar, and it is a low-cost monthly membership that helps healthcare professionals build a second revenue stream by creating a monetizable personal brand online in minimal hours a week without like viral trends and needing thousands of followers. So it's really teaching them how to what's interesting is because it's healthcare professionals and a lot of them, so you don't have to be a clinic owner at all. I've been wanting to build something that like associates, because my heart goes out to the issue with like associate docs where they shouldn't own a business. They really shouldn't. They're not designed to take on that stress, but they want to create more money. And so they kind of feel like landlocked with their income. And so, you know, if you've got an associate making $65, $85, $105,000 or whatever, but they're like, well, I want to make $200,000. And that's rare in an associate job, you know, type of thing. And so I've wanted to have something that associates could do, because all my other programs were only for clinic owners. And so yeah, but it's interesting because so many people come in and they're like, oh yeah, I have my niche. I'm a pediatric chiropractor who helps women regulate their nervous system. And I'm like, that's shitty. That's a shitty niche. It's the worst niche I've ever heard for a personal brand. And I just kind of roast them. So it's been a lot of like helping them find like, no, that's a great niche for your brick and mortar. But you joined a membership called Beyond Brick and Mortar. And so it's been a little bit of like, I try and be very clear to people of like, no, 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 do not join this membership. Like, this is not a how to grow your clinic membership. This is about like, you have your established clinic. Like I kind of am telling people like, you are going to need, if you own a clinic, like if you own a brick and mortar, you have to have one account that you can say like, we're running this new patient special or like, look, we were at this local health fair, or like, this is our Mother's Day, whatever. So like, you need your account that's like, we are trying to get new patients. The personal brand is not that. This needs to be a separate account where you are not like, now if somebody finds you and is like, oh my God, I love this person's content. Wait, they're in Dallas. I'm in Dallas. I want to choose them to be my chiropractor. Cool. That's great. But like, too many people are still trying to blend church and state. And they're like, well, but like, if I do that, it's like my clinic sees more than that. And I'm like, this isn't supposed to be about your clinic.
So, well, some of this might be my fault because I've always taught just to have one account, but not in the way that you're.
No, like Shara needs two accounts. She does have two accounts.
Yeah.
But she could blow up with her personal brand, but it's too brick and mortar still.
So here's the thing. Here's when I just kind of want to like make this distinguish. I want to distinguish between these two things. So when I teach that I feel like people should have just one account is when you're not trying to monetize your personal brand and you just have a like Dr. Lauryn Brunslick Instagram
you're
account.
Still trying to funnel to the clinic.
Right. So if you're a one-woman show clinic, you rent a room and a yoga studio and you literally like, I am the clinic. It's all I do. All I monetize is my chiropractic, and I have Live Well Chiropractic is my business. And then I have Dr. Lauryn. Yeah, I don't know. There's lots. Vitality Chiropractic. Thrive. And then I've got Dr. Lauryn. And then all I'm doing is cross-posting the same content back and forth and back and forth.
Okay, but can I like poke a hole?
Yeah.
So here's a problem. Not in the beginning. So at a certain point though, if the personal brand does well, okay. So here's the problem. I don't know in that example. So let's say that the clinic owner accomplishes everything they want to in their life. By the way, I just feel like we're out to dinner right now, and I just love this.
We also match, for those of you who can't see, we both have on an olive green, and I've got blue nails, and she's got blue nails. But I was putting on more necklaces when you texted me and were like, "Where are you, bitch?" And I'm like, "Oh, sorry, I'm coming." I only have one necklace on. I was layering when I got the text of like, "Hurry up."
All right. So here's the problem. So like, this is my job to like think 20 steps down the road for these people. Okay.
Sure.
So you have your clinic. Your clinic is not making as much money as you want. Like, shoot, I'm trying to grow the clinic, like most of us are. And then you have this personal brand situation. So let's just say a couple steps happen and you have massive success. Your clinic now, you've had to hire because of your personal brand. Okay. So your personal brand blows up and all these new patients are coming to your clinic. And so you need to hire associates. Are you there yet?
Right.
You see what happens? They don't want to see your associates. They want to see you.
So yeah, but I will say this did happen to one of my students, and what she ended up doing, it was great. So she was an associate.
You can pivot, but you have to pivot.
Yeah, she did. So she started her personal brand account when she was an associate for another clinic. Dr. Nicole Short. I don't know if you know her.
That's why I was like, who is it? Okay.
Did she in any of your programs? She's fantastic. She just had a baby.
My HIPAA response immediately was like, I can't tell you. Like, it's not HIPAA. I can't tell you that. I can't believe you just asked me that online.
Yeah. So she's fantastic. She was actually one of my like OG holistic marketing.
Okay. So she was an associate.
Yeah.
Blew up.
Started her own clinic.
Yes.
And just with Instagram alone, she was like 50% full her first week.
Well, that's the opposite problem I'm talking about. Or that's exactly how it would go well.
when she did hire an associate and she brought on her husband, who's a nutritionist, then she did start a separate Rise
Exactly.
Chiropractic account.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. But I just don't want people to think that like, well, Molly's been saying the opposite thing.
No, no,
We're
no,
saying the
no.
same thing.
No, you're saying exactly what will need to happen. So first of all, she was an associate. So then when she went to start her own, so what we're talking about is what I'm talking about is like down the road, what happens when I coach people in the multi-passionate chiropreneur. Okay. So we've got these clinics that are, you know, 400, 500, $700,000, $1 million clinics. They've got one associate to three associates. And when you start breaking down, but one of the issues that we're trying to do with it is remove the clinic owner. We're trying to remove that clinic owner from adjusting. And the problem that all of these people, when they're at that level, like at that level, not the beginning level, they're like, nobody wants to see my associate. So, like, when you are a solopreneur, when you are, it's the personality based clinic is the hardest like initial step to get over in scaling, because whether you have a personal brand or not, if you are the only doctor, you have a personality based clinic. You didn't do anything wrong. There's really no way around it. It's that like unless you are so dull that you have no personality, people are coming to your clinic and staying because they like you and the service you're providing. So then as you start to scale, this is the big hurdle that people get to where they're like, let's say they're seeing 300 people a week and they're like, yeah, but every time I go on, and they have an associate and they're like, but every time I go on vacation, our number, or every time I try and pull back a shift or two, my numbers tank. And I'm like, well, why? You should have plenty. And they're like, well, nobody wants to see the associate. Everyone wants to see me. And the associate's great, but they want to see the owner. The people automatically assume the owner is better. A lot of times we are better adjusters. Like we just have been doing it longer. We've got a more vibrant personality because as an entrepreneur, you are like better at selling a lot of times.
Sure.
You know, and so it's just one of those things where it's like the owner of a clinic already, if their clinic grows and scales to the level they say they want, are going to have to overcome this personality based clinic issue, which is solvable. I'm just saying it becomes extra of like, if you have a person, so like you're trying to remove yourself from the clinic, yet you've got this personal brand, people are calling like, hey, Dr. So-and-so, I found her on Instagram. I love her so much. I want to be her new patient. And they're like, and your front desk is like, she's actually not accepting new patients. And they're like, well, I only want to see her. So like, yes, this is like 6 levels down.
Sure. Okay.
The road. So like, I agree absolutely with what you're saying. But at a certain point, like the example you gave, yeah, at a certain point, you do have to pivot. You have to like stop. That personal brand can't be feeding the new patients because they want to see you.
Yeah. And I think also a lot of this came from, I would say the type of student I'm starting to attract now is more, I don't know, sophisticated is not the right word because that makes it sound like, oh, sophisticated. Like, but in the beginning, it was like,
are you holding your microphone right now?
Yeah, because my mic stand broke.
Honey, I like keep seeing it bobbing. I'm like, is she gonna have to hold that microphone the whole time?
I mean, I can put it down.
No, it's fine. It's not distracting me. I was just like,
the same, right?
No, you got to hold your microphone.
That's what I'm saying. It sounds better here. That's why I did.
It does. I just feel bad.
I need to get my, I need to get a new mic stand.
You're attracting a sophisticated person.
Yeah. Well, because in the beginning, it was like just getting anybody to post anything at all was my goal.
Mm-hmm.
So, and a lot of these people were coming with already 2 accounts. And I'm like, girl, if you've already got a personal account with this many followers who are already in your area, like make that one your one you go all in on, because that's better than starting from zero, because you're going to get discouraged.
So I think here's the difference. Here's the, what is the word you were looking for? Differentiator? Differentiator?
I don't know.
Those people are not trying to build a personal brand. Just because you have a personal account does not mean you're trying. So that's what delineating. That's the word.
That's
so like those people, just because you have a personal account does not mean you're trying to build a online personal brand.
Yes.
That's
Bob Barker holding her microphone agrees.
Yes. Yes, that's the delineator here that we're talking about of like, no,
Yes.
everything you said is right. Those people, though, were not focused on creating an online personal brand. They were trying to use a personal account to build a brick and mortar clinic.
Yes.
Still.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's
I just didn't want people to be like, well, Molly,
personal account.
The first module in your course says only to have,
Okay. Yeah. No. Just because you have a personal account does not mean you're trying to build and monetize a online personal brand, because a online personal brand is exactly that. It's 100% online. So it's not meant to drive monetization to a thing. You can have a personal account that you're using to drive to a brick and mortar, but it's not a monetizable, online monetizable personal brand.
Yeah.
Yes. I think we made it make sense.
Yeah. I hope everybody's like, what the hell are you talking about? I hope that makes sense.
Well, and that's what's hard too, is like in this world where it's like, well, wait, you're using personal brand differently than that person uses personal brand. And it's like, well, you're using content pillars different than this person uses content pillars. And it's like, yeah, okay, just don't get hung up on the word. Like it's what your intention is with what you're creating.
Yes. So what I told you when I saw the program that you're creating, this is kind of where I want to go next with this, is I love what you're doing with this, because once you have created a strong personal brand, you can monetize it in so many different ways. So it doesn't have to be people probably think like course or like sponsored posts, and it can be those things, but you can create a freaking cookbook if you want. Like you can do, once you have a personal brand that people trust and love, you can monetize it in a million different ways. So I don't know if you want to kind of go into that.
Oh, and like, just for a moment, like I love chiropractic. I love using my hands. I sent you a message last week, like, oh my God, how do you work on a computer all day? I've been like in a computer so much more now that I'm walking and working. So it used to be when I was exercising, I would at least shut. But now that I'm trying to get 10,000 steps, I can like be at my computer even while I'm exercising. And I'm like, holy shit. So I can tell it's like messing with my hormones and like my adrenals. But where was I going with that? Okay. This is my caveat. I love a healthcare career. Whether you are a holistic dentist or an acupuncturist or a chiropractor or whatever other thing you are, I love it. It's rewarding. But there are so many easier ways to make money. Like I have the amazing Steph Wigner. Her and I have talked about this in Vegas, just being like, God, it is so much easier to make money over online. So here's the reasons. One, your profit margins, like $10,000 is not $10,000. Like in your business, $10,000 is not $10,000 in your pocket. Like I've talked to so many, I'm a 7-figure clinic. Great. What are your profit margins?
Right.
Like if a $1 million clinic has a 20% profit margin, I'm actually impressed, because I'm like, that's actually higher than a lot of averages. Like there's a lot of $1 million clinics out there that have like 5 to 10% profit margin. Yeah. And so now granted, they're like in that scenario, I think their like salary is in it, like, but not draws and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah. But like still it's like, well, no, with your salary in there, you should be doing 20 to 30%. So that's rare. That's rare in chiropractic. I can't speak to other professions, but like the model is that just as you grow, you're just payroll. And now all of a sudden you need a bigger building. And now all of a sudden, if you're not going to move buildings, you need a bigger parking lot. And like, now you need to do more construction, and you need to turn 3 rooms into 4 rooms, and you need to like, and so it's just always something. And oh my God. And then I love my team. I love my team, but shit happens in people's lives. Like, going through it right now. The more humans that you have that you need to make your world run, the more vulnerable you are to shitstorms just dropping in your lap. just, it happens. I have an incredible associate doctor who just started with us last September. Amazing, amazing doctor. Our patients love her. Some of her patients, she came from like an hour away, and so non-compete's not an issue or anything like that, but like some of her patients were like midway, and so they kind of came, and they're like, she's just so much happier here, like all this stuff. She finds out 2 weeks ago her father-in-law has stage 4 terminal cancer, and kind of the light bulb moment of like life is short, and they're moving across the state. Like, I got a 1 month notice, and her and her husband are picking up their lives and moving across the state to be with him, support their mother-in-law. He's taking over the family logging business. Like, she's gonna find, I think there's like a clinic there that, she
Yeah.
loved it here, but
Right.
life happened.
Life happens.
And so
Yeah.
it's like the profit margins and the vulnerability of running the brick and mortar. Like, I love it, but it's so freaking hard. Like, you've got that office manager that's like, or clinic manager that's like the greatest thing since sliced bread. And then they have their third child and decide that like it just doesn't make sense for childcare to pay for three. And so she's gonna work from home. And you're like, awesome. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. And so yeah, so just like your profit margins, the vulnerability, it's not an easier world, it's a different world. And like it's completely different. Like the other thing with so when I'm working with people to build their niche, I swear I'm kind of answering your question.
No, this is great.
Is so this is another super controversial thing. So you help a lot of like more nervous system based chiropractors, right?
Yeah.
Like
This just
pediatric,
because y'all all know
prenatal.
each other. And so
Mm-hmm.
we're like almost 100% referral based at this
Yeah.
point.
So, oh God, I'm gonna get some booze. If I was on stage right now at like Mile High or some of these like principal ones, I would like have some people leaving the room. So I have spent 14 years in pediatric chiropractic, educating, like just trying to shove a solution down people's throat that is against what they want to hear. Like, people want to hear that take it one time, one adjustment will, all right, fine. It's not a pill, but it's one adjustment, right? No, it's not. It's actually more like working out, like that's why Ozempic is super successful, is because like, thank God we don't have to work out. Like, people want an easy fix, and pediatric chiropractic is not an easy fix. It's a healthy fix, but a lot of times it's not paid for, and it is needed to do on repeat to work. So I've spent 14 years in this world of like heartbreak, of just like, we love you, but we just can't afford this anymore. Like, like, and we have a really high PVA. Like, people stick around for a really long time, but still it's just like continually trying to go against the grain. And when you find a niche online that people want, like, they're like, oh my God, I actually want this. Like, we know people want the quality of life that chiropractic has to offer, but they don't want chiropractic. That's the shitty thing. They don't want anything. They don't want to pay or do anything. So it's not like chiropractic is unique. It's just like, they don't want to go to the dentist. They don't, but they only have to, like, they don't want to do physical therapy. They don't want to do, they don't want to work out. Okay. Like, they don't want to. They don't want to cold plunge. And so they don't want to eat a salad instead of French fries. Like, they don't want to. The majority of people now, are some people, of course, but like, and so that's what's hard, is like chiropractic is just having to work so hard to convince them that they should want this, that it's actually incredible and can change their life. But they don't want that. Like, Some of them do. Some of them, the light bulb clicks, but it's kind of exhausting.
I could so totally see that. Well, and I think too, this, I don't want to get off topic, but
Oh, we're there, baby. We
a
are
lot of
so there.
a lot of holistic health providers poo poo, and I'm like one of the biggest, like, not that I'm a provider, but conventional medicine has failed me and my family many, many times.
Hmm.
I'm actually working on not having a victim mindset and being more like, you know,
Yeah.
but one of my best friends from high school is a primary care PA. And she's like, we give them the like, you'll see a lot of holistic health accounts. They're like, if doctors only gave out lifestyle advice instead of a pill, I'm like, they do.
Hmm.
A lot of them do.
Yeah. I
Not
think
not
they
every
get beat
doctor.
up. I think they get beat up too.
But then it's like, well, my cholesterol's high. Can't I just take a pill? And they're
Hmm.
like, well, yeah, but couldn't you also like try this and this and this? And they're like, no, if there's a pill for it, I mean, why wouldn't I just take the
And
pill?
it takes time to educate. So like I
Yeah.
think that like, I think the whole system on that end is, yeah, I see
Yeah.
what you're saying. Like we won't get too off topic here, but like they can't really bill for that. There's so many kickbacks. There are
Right.
literal kickbacks on drug. Like it's just like the system isn't, most of the systems are not set up for them to succeed in that. And the patient is mad. Like it's like medical doctors see the same stuff on antibiotics that we do. Like they're not, I truly believe in my heart that like medical doctors are intelligent people. They know antibiotic resistance. They know what it does to the body, the side, like the negative side effects. But like how many times can you be an urgent care provider where a parent comes in and is like, they can't go back to daycare until they're on antibiotics? I had to take off school today, or I had to take off work today because they can't be at daycare and they can't return tomorrow unless they're on antibiotics. Give it to me.
Yeah.
So, like,
Yeah.
how many times can you just be like, most of your infections reside on them or, heal on their own within 48 hours? We're like, I can't take tomorrow off work. Like, and so, like, I just think that, I think every healthcare in general, I think we're all just a little beat up in our own way, you
Yeah,
know?
and I can see that. And even though, going back to even like not wanting that, I think this is where it comes into more of, like you said, you've got to change the belief around it
Mm-hmm.
versus just educating. Because even a good friend of mine who very well, she did very well in her, like I know how much money she makes. She has the money. And when she found out what I was paying every month for a health coach, she was like, what? And I was like, to me, that's a non-negotiable. It's like a drop in I always have some type of health life coach because it's like, to me, it's the greatest investment in my life.
Right.
I'm driving a car that is 11 years old at this point because I will always continue to have a health and life coach. Like, to me, so it's about priorities, I
Yeah.
guess,
Yeah.
in your
Yeah,
life.
absolutely. And so it's just like you just have to sort through finding your people,
Hmm.
which
And that's what the niche does.
yeah. But when you're a brick and mortar, like it's just a small, yeah. So a niche does help you find your people online when you're sorting through millions and millions. That's the thing. Is so like online where it's millions and millions and millions of people, you can be like super, super specific and you don't have to change the belief. You can just hang your virtual shingle, which that was almost what my program was called, your virtual shingle. Um, Oh, thanks. So, like online, you can just say, like, these are my beliefs. Where are my people? I like that
Sure.
because again, this is a delineator that like we're clarifying. You don't you don't have to do you don't have to convince people to believe what you believe. People who don't believe what you believe will not follow your account and they will move on. People who do will be like, oh my God, I feel so seen. I believe what you believe and click follow.
And then algorithms be algorithming.
Yes. But with a brick and mortar,
Hmm.
with this holistic thing, if you're not a flower shop or a beauty salon, oh, I wish I like there are
Gone hair
just so
school.
many, there are just so many professions that's like, God, you sell what people want. They want to be more beautiful. Like, and it's easy. Like, yep, come in and 3 hours later and $600, your hair is different and you have extensions or you have Botox or whatever, like whatever. It's just easy. It's just like easy money. You sell cupcakes. Ugh. Like, damn it. You don't have to convince people they want cupcakes. They want them.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you have to convince people to maybe like buy cupcakes for just a random occasion besides a birthday. Oh, your life must be so hard on social media, right? But like, but when you are this brick and mortar selling health, you don't just get to go like, this is what we believe, take it or leave it. I mean, you can. And if you live in a bigger population, maybe it works for you. But like most of the world does not live in, like most of the world are still, even if you're in Dallas, you're still trying to reach the people to educate and change their beliefs.
Have you seen a shift in the past few years, though? Do you know that nervous system stuff is trending?
I think that we think it's trending harder. Okay.
Is it my algorithm that
Oh,
makes me
yeah.
think it's trending?
It's definitely trending. I think that we think now that it's trending. Now all we'll have to do is say like chiropractic balances the nervous system. No,
Mm. Yeah. Well,
that's
you
not
know how
working.
I feel about this. I mean,
Like we're still having to shove it down people's throat. Again, I caveated this by saying I love chiropractic. I get adjusted 1 to 2 times a week. My children get adjusted 1 to 2 times a week. I will be adjusting my husband and my children and my grandchildren, whether they like it or not, for the rest of their life. I believe so. Like, I am not, like, I am in my heart a straight chiropractor, but I'm just from somebody who's been doing this for 14 years saying, like, oh my God, it's exhausting. So like I feel like I've seen people on stages when I was in chiropractic school being like, there has never been a better time to be a chiropractor. Chiropractors have thought that now it's going to happen. Now it's going to happen. COVID. Oh my God, people are waking up. Now, granted, a lot of chiropractic clinics did grow, but like there's no easy switch. There are still more. I bet you there are more flailing chiropractic clinics who are like, I wish I had more. Like they're paying their bills. I'm not saying they're failing, but like I bet you the number of chiropractors that are like, I really wish we could grow and get to that next level is still a higher percentage than the ones that are like, oh my God, we are on a wait list. I can't, like, abundance is just flowing from me because like I can't. And what they say is like, because like the average chiropractor, like, was like 8 to 10% or whatever. Okay. Like, have you ever read Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell? Okay. So the premise is that once 14% of a society accepts something as like the solution,
yes.
that is the tipping point, and shit goes crazy from there.
Really? Okay.
Yes. So it was like with the iPhone, or it might have even been the iPod because the book's kind of old now, but like 14% is statistically so chiropractors have been saying once 14% of the population gets it, then they say we will literally not have enough chiropractors to support the need. Like, Molly, you will be out of a job. We won't need social media accounts because once we get to 14%, people will just like chiropractors will have to work 100 hours a week to serve the number of patients coming to them. That's what we have been told. And every time it's just like, oh, COVID, this is it. There's never been a better time. People are waking up. Did they wake up? Yes, I do. Yes, I do think they woke up. I think more than 14% of the population woke up. Where the fuck are they? Why am I having to do a new patient special? Why? So this is why I'm skeptical to what you said of like nervous system. Yeah, nervous system is trending. But guess what? I think chiropractors are still going to have to fight somehow for their seat at that nervous system table to be like, hey, you know what we've been talking about for years? Nervous system regulation. And people are just gonna be like, shut up. No. You're a quack. Like, we're still going to have to feed it to people that chiropractic is a obvious solution for the nervous system. Like, so I don't think we
Yeah.
have an easy button coming, even though, yeah, people are waking up to nervous system, but yet why? Why? Where are they?
I think one issue with this is the general population doesn't understand too, like the different flavors. It's like, okay, you've had one bad experience with a chiropractor, you never go back. Whereas like if you have one bad experience with a dentist, it's like you find a new dentist.
Yeah, for
I don't know.
sure. Yeah, no, I agree.
I think it's like there's so many different, like
Well, the
I go to
problem
a,
is their definition of what a bad chiropractor is. So, like, what was bad about that?
they didn't get
More
better
than
after one
likely,
adjustment type thing.
yeah. What
Hmm.
more than likely, what was bad about like, because I mean, we've heard it, right? Okay. So, the chiropractor probably told them that they needed multiple visits and probably presented them with like a care plan that was four figures. Oh, what a bad chiropractor.
Well, and this isn't just, I would say
Like,
so many
what?
of it, like massage, acupuncture, all of it. Like your one is not going to be your miracle.
I know, but people want massage. Massage those
That's
bitches.
true
They
because
don't
it's
have
like
to,
more.
because it feels good. Like massage, they're on easy street. I'm not saying they don't need to like, but like you don't have to change the belief that a massage
Sure.
will feel good.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. Like you
Um,
don't have to change the belief that people want a massage. Now,
mm,
financially, can people choose to afford it? Can people choose but like you don't have to convince someone that a free hour-long massage would be incredible.
I
Like,
was thinking about that the other day. I was like, man, I get adjusted like pretty much every week, go to acupuncture like every other week. I was like, I haven't gotten a massage in forever.
yeah. So like I think they have their own issues, but you don't have to convince them that they want a massage. We have to constantly convince people they want chiropractic. No,
So
you
let's
want
bring
this.
this
And
to
they're like, "Do
something.
I?" And you're like, "Yes, you do. You have no idea. Like you just don't know you do."
Yeah.
Okay, folks, that's all you get this week. I know, good, right? And the conversation continues to just go deeper. And in part two, I give some really, really good advice on how you can start to leverage your current followers and prime them for sales that might be coming down the road. It's like really, really good advice. I promise you're going to want to show up next week. All right, part two coming next week. Enjoy.